Hello, welcome to Pinnacle Scholars. Let's talk about grades, since many people are curious as to why PinnacleScholars.com uses a mastery system. All of us know this scene. A child comes home from school at the end of a grading period, and the parents ask, "How'd you do? Are your grades passing?" The child responds, "They're good, all passing." Parents ask, "How good? What did you make?" And the child answers, "I made a 90 in science, 72 in math, 92 in English, and 78 in history." And the parents retort, "Well, at least your science and English are good." In this scene, both parent and child seem to understand what a final grade represents. However, what a final grade represents is not well established at all. There are some considerations in grading that are hard to ignore. This parent and child have accepted a system containing certain inherent inconsistencies. Let's explore what shouldn't be overlooked. The usual rating scale is A equals 90 to 100, B equals 80 to 89, and so forth. However, precision is an illusion here. Generally, grades in school districts are averages of grades on a scale of 0 to 100 to represent a percentage. It appears standard enough. However, every college admissions representative can tell you that a 95 from one school district is not the same as a 95 from another school district. This is because the idea of grading someone's work reflects an individual teacher's philosophy. Let's consider some examples. Suppose a student in one grade report period takes 5 true-false quizzes and 2 tests. The teacher asks, "What is this student's grade?" sees grades as having equal weight, and answers with the average 83%. Now suppose the student makes the same grades but has a different teacher. The question is the same: what is this student's grades? This teacher wants the quizzes to be weighted less than the tests because the tests are more substantial. So this teacher takes the average of the quizzes, adds it to the average of the tests, then divides by 2. The average is 76%. Consider another teacher who eyes the same grades and sees that the tests are considerably lower than the quizzes. She or he remembers from a tests and measurements class taken in college that if a few grades are a good distance from the bulk of the grades, then the distant grades should be considered outliers. The outliers are discarded and the median grades should represent the whole. So the teacher discards the test grades as outliers, creates a distribution from highest to lowest of the remaining grades, which happens to be the true-false quizzes, and chooses the middle grade, the median. The student's grade is submitted as 90. One common practice of teachers is to drop the lowest grade in a reporting period to help students in case they had an off day for some reason. So this teacher looks at the same list of grades, asks what is this student's grade, drops the lowest grade, and averages the rest of the grades, giving them all equal weight. In this case, 87% is the average. Another teacher has a similar philosophy. She or he reasons that the tests are more comprehensive, so they should stand as more representative of the student's knowledge. Therefore, the lowest grade is dropped from the list of quizzes taken. The rest of the grades are given equal weight. The resulting average is 82%. Here is an example of a teacher who looks at the same grades and asks the same question: what is this student's grade? And like other teachers, considers tests more substantial. Therefore, this teacher weights the tests double the value of the quiz grades. By this method, the average is 78%. Here is an example of a teacher who looks at the same grades, but thinks a student's grades should derive only from tests because of their comprehensive nature. However, the teacher knows that students can be better prepared for tests if quizzes are given in advance of the tests. The quizzes are merely indicators to students of how they will perform on the test. They have no value as a grade. Only tests are used for the final grade's average. In this case, 61% is the average. Finally, there is the teacher who treats the grades with equal weight and gets an average. But knowing something about statistics, the teacher finds the first standard deviation to arrive at an idea of where the grades cluster, near the center, near the true average. Two grades, 60 and 62, fall outside of the first standard deviation, so they don't follow the trend of forming around the center. They are outliers and eliminated from being figured into the average. The average of the grades in the first deviation, which are the true-false grades, is 91%. This is a summary table of the grades based on the grading philosophy of the teacher. The grades range from 91 to 61, or from an A to an F. As you can see, how each teacher considers what goes into a grade makes a difference. And the 7 grades figured in the examples don't even consider a teacher whose philosophy includes giving grades for effort and participation, sometimes even attendance, which would boost a student's grade from those made on written work. Now one can appreciate the college admissions representative who makes the statement that the idea of 95 differs between districts in the state, schools in a district, even teachers in a school. Pinnacle Scholars chooses not to depend on such grading disparities. Students need to know salient and relevant material to perform satisfactorily in their worlds. Society has expectations, as do universities. Because grades are not standard across regions, districts, or grade levels as indicators of what someone knows, we teach the salient, relevant precepts of all subjects to all students. They must know and manipulate those tenets in one class before proceeding to another. They have personal interaction with teachers who give them guidance in understanding the major precepts of every subject, every course. There is no 70% versus 90% proficiency, if the idea of proficiency is to be bent to this meaning. A student won't fail one part of a knowledge base, pass another part, and then average a minimum passing grade. We have one last word to say about teachers and grading. Personal guidance of a teacher is the key. Our teachers don't just dispense information for students to get, they guide each young person to the next plane of understanding in each class. Then they exit them to the next class. For the students who are interested in pursuing ideas even further than the curriculum calls for, our teachers press further with them, guiding them to an exploration of an even higher stratum. The word mastery is used for our grade because that grade represents a reality, not a percentage of knowledge or an average of one's pieces of information gained, but mastery. We would love to visit with you more about our school. Go to the website, pinnaclescholars.com, click on the tab Contact Us. Thank you.